So the story doesn't have to be related to your teaching point. The story needs to be related to your right fit client. There's stories you'll never tell because they have no relevance to this person. Remember, everything.
I think that's a really important point. I think people don't realize that.
Yeah, they don't realize that. It's like, oh, I love talking about this. Who cares? Who cares? Do they need to hear it?
Yeah.
It's a whole different approach. It's begin with the end in mind. How can I help you to be the best version human that you want to be? What story helps to make that happen? What story helps you to see that you're not alone? What story helps you to see that you can get knocked down 1,000 times, just get up 999?
Yeah.
What story? So now you're sourcing the story from a different viewpoint. Not how does it attach to my content, which most people do. Not how does it lead into my point. Not how does it make me popular. Not how does it make me go viral. Not how does it make me a lot of money. How does it make the best impact in your life? Every single story that I tell it from a point of what person needs to hear this? Oh, the person who's been broken. Okay, that's a story for them. What person needs to hear Tonka Tough? Tonka Tough is for someone who's been knocked down 100 times and they just need to get up, and they don't get up fast, they get up slow. What person needs to hear the story of losing faith in themselves and regaining faith and turning their crawl back into a walk and their walk back into a run and their run into a soar? Oh, they need to hear the mirror exercise of when I was leaving an abusive relationship. I don't necessarily wake up in the morning wanting to tell you that I was in an abusive relationship. I've never woke up one morning excited about the story that was required for me to tell. I don't think there's one story in my whole library that I go, ooh, I love that story. Because in order for a story to be truly impactful, a story needs to show struggle, it needs to show turmoil, and it needs to have tension so that it can have triumph. Every one of us wants the hero's journey. That's why we watch Rocky 1, Rocky 3, Rocky 5. Do you believe there are 9 Rockies? Rocky 9, and then Creed 1, Creed 2, Creed 3, right? We all know there's going to be a fight.
Yeah.
And we all know that the person that we're rooting for is going to have a hard time. We all know that. Yeah. But because we're living the hero's journey, we want to watch a hero's journey. And so when you truly want to impact someone's heart, you got to choose the story that's going to show the journey, expose the turmoil, the tension, the tragedy, and the journey to triumph. That's how you choose it. And then you just pick the area and you base that on your right fit client. This is the business part now. Who's my right fit client? Here's the next question. What's their pain point and what's their problem? Now, that's not one answer. They got a list. They normally got about 6 problems, 6 pain points. Next question, what's their desire? What's their greatest dream? There's only about 3 of those, honestly. It's not as long. Turmoil and pain points are always longer. We're pain point averse. We are more motivated to avoid pain than we are to achieve desires, which is why if you're marketing and you only market about have this, have that, have this, you'll get people. But if you say, if you're tired of this and you want this, if you've tried this and it didn't work and then you want this, if you give me that combination, you'll get more attention. Marketing 101 for me. It took me only 10 years to learn that. Same thing has to happen in your story. Your story has to be, I was living my best life at one time. I had already earned, $20 million in business, and I look up and I'm in an emotionally abusive relationship. How did I get here? And then it turns physically abusive. How did I get here? I'm a motivational speaker. I motivate people to live their dreams. How is it that I'm afraid to go home? I don't know if you've ever wondered. You looked up one day and said, how did I get here? I took all the right steps. I did all the right things. I don't deserve this story. Even tears come to my eyes right now telling it. So part of it is you have to give yourself permission to go touch a place again. And to trust that you've grown enough to bring yourself out. Now, here's what I know. Most people won't tell a story that they're still afraid of feeling the feelings connected to it. And so that's where I say, and you know me as a coach, I'm always going to do personal development with you. If we're going to if we're going to help you get bigger in your impact and your messaging, then let's go make sure that we've taken care of you and that you have the courage to tell the story of the mess and the tragedy and the tension and the turmoil while you sit on stage. That you touch that. Give me the gift of touching your humanity in front of me, because then my humanity becomes okay.
I think that's what makes you such a inspiring transformational speaker, is because you're willing to go where most won't go, and that's why it's you're such a memorable speaker, and again and again and again that is reminded of every time you come on a podcast, you get on the stage, is because while a lot of us are in personal development, a lot of us are not, for lack of a better term, fearless enough to be able to go where one needs to go. And I love the part where you said, I don't wake up in the morning saying I'm going to tell that story, because it's still a hard place to go. And who wants to do that? You know, it's like, I mean, you want to do that, but who wants to do that?
I want the other side of it.
Yeah.
That's why I begin with the end in mind.
Yeah.
I want you to feel so free, so okay with that ugly journey, if it was ugly, that uncomfortable. I want you to know that my past does not equal my future. My past is a setup for my future, and it's my birthright to have it. How do I do that? What story do I need to tell to do that? You don't need 63 slides to get that. Give me a great story in 6.
Yeah.
And then give me the spaciousness to catch my breath. And I don't expect anyone listening to us to get it all at one time. I never expected you to get it one time. I didn't get it at one time. This was layers. My goal in this season of my life is to shorten the time that it takes you to get it. That it doesn't take you as long as it took me. It doesn't take them as long as it may have taken you. That's why we're here. We're here to save people time, save them stress, maybe save them some money, save them some doubt. We're here to help people turn decades into days, to turn, months into weeks, ideally. Nothing is instant but coffee.